Hey everyone, God bless all of you. Apologies for not being able to upload anything recently as I have been tied up with a couple of things, but hopefully from this video on I will be able to be more consistent. So in this video we will be taking a look at the MB.02s, which are the successors to the MB.01s. They are the signature shoes of LaMelo Ball, and the MB.01s received a lot of good reviews. They were quite popular, and we will see whether the MB.02s live up to the reputation of the MB.01s or not. First of all, I'd like to start off with the cushioning, as it is an important aspect for me, especially as an older player. The materials that are being used for the cushioning system, the midsole is made out of nitrofoam, which is Puma's signature material. And in my opinion, the impact protection here is okay, but not at the level of the Nike LeBron 18s or 19s, for example, which were really crazy, by the way. But the court feel was okay. It's medium, it's in the middle. You don't really feel that low to the ground, but you still have decent court feel. There's good balance between court feel and impact protection. As for bounciness, again, these are not as bouncy as the Nikes that have double or stacked zoom units. So if you want to have bounciness, you will not find them with the MB.02s. So next I'd like to move on to comfort. I think this is one of the strong points of the shoes. Stepping in comfort is amazing, similar to the MB.01s that I had. The sizing is true to size, similar to Nike's, but I feel that the Pumas are a little bit wider than Nike's. For example, if you use US 10 for Nikes, you will probably be okay with US 10 for these guys here. However, you need to be careful because the sizing system for Puma is a little bit different from Nike. So the European size in Pumas are one size larger than the European size for Nikes. Overall, comfort was great. A lot of paddings. There are thick paddings on the heel area, around the ankles, and these guys also have a really thick tongue as well. The insole is nice as well, the type that really molds to your foot. So once again, comfort was great. I have no issues with comfort. So now we move on to stability. This is where I'm a bit disappointed with the MB.02s. I don't think that they're as good as the originals. These guys are mid-tops, and you would assume that they would protect your ankles more because of it, but unfortunately this is not really the case. There are heel counters here. They're present. They're at a very low position, and I don't know whether they really affect stability, but they're there nevertheless. As for torsional support, they're very good. The shoes are sturdy. They really help maintain the shape of the foot for strong moves. However, as I mentioned, there are no outriggers. They're just not there. They have a very narrow outsole design, perhaps for dynamism and for fluidity, catering to the style of play of LaMelo. However, the downside is that it's not very stable, at least for me personally. And this is a huge issue for me as I tend to roll my ankles a lot. The lateral part of the outsoles of the MB.02s are more curved compared to the MB.01s, which in my opinion compromises stability a bit. Now we move on to traction, which in my opinion is another strong point of these shoes. The material is anti-slip rubber compound, and the pattern is a modification of the traditional herringbone. Performance-wise, I think these guys are absolutely amazing. I didn't have any problems whatsoever with traction. You'll be able to stop on a dime and do whatever moves that you want to do without any worries of slipping. At least this is my experience on the courts that I played on. Next, we move on to materials. They're so-so. They get the job done. They're traditional, conventional. There's nothing fancy. The materials are mesh plastic here, and there's a fused plastic material on the toe box area and other places. There's also TPU plastic on some places on the shoe, particularly on the heel area here. So there's nothing special about the materials. They get the job done. As for aesthetics, I think they're a huge improvement from the MB.01s. Obviously, aesthetics is a subjective matter, but I think the MB.02s have a much more dynamic silhouette, and the interchange between the shapes and colorways are much better than the MB.01s. As for pricing, I think basketball shoes are not going to get any cheaper. At least that is the trend in Indonesia. The LeBron 20s, for example, are around 280 to 300 US dollars here in Indonesia. These guys are priced at 2.3 million rupiahs in Indonesia, which is around 150 US dollars. It's a fair price. It's at the price point of the KDs. But if I were asked to choose, I would probably pick these over the KDs because they just feel better on foot for me personally. The KDs run a little bit too narrow for my taste. But then again, I would also like to have something with more stability given my age and my style of play. So that wraps it up for the MB.02s. Overall, I think they're very good basketball sneakers, especially for those who are dynamic, who are quick, who don't mind the reduced stability, and they're also at a decent price point as well. So that's my take on the MB.02s from Puma. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate all of your support. God bless all of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.